Success Insight shares the stories of the people with passion and drive who make things happen in the world. Here's your host, Howard Fox.
Hello, everybody. This is Howard Fox, and welcome back to another episode of the Success Insight podcast. Our guest today is Andree Martin. And if we have Andree Martin, then we know it is Mindset Monday. So excited to have Andree back on the podcast with us. Andree is your leadership mindset and golf performance coach. She is an LPGA Class A member, a nationally recognized top 50 golf teacher and expert, and a member of the Maine Golf Hall of Fame. And I would also share she's the consummate storyteller because she has all these stories in her back pocket that she just pulls as effortlessly as we pull a petal off a flower. I mean, it's just all these stories are just there in the moment when she needs them. So amazing. And Andree is really tuned into not only golf, but how golf as a metaphor applies to the world of business and how golf itself is a business tool in today's competitive marketplace. And Andree is fortunate to work with individuals, groups, corporations, organizations to create educational and team building programs that enhance professional success of aspiring executives and leaders. So we are excited once again to have Andree with us. And hey, Andree, what do you have on store for us today?
Hello there, Howard. It's great to be back. Thanks again. How are you going to go for the gold versus settling for silver, folks? This week's topic is purposeful practice. This definitely carries through to business and life with families all at home. We're having to redo our routines. What is allowing you to purposefully practice your plan and your dream? And in golf, I have had the good fortune of working at Bacliff Fairbanks Ranch for the last 9 years. And we have several tour players, many tour players out there playing. We've got some of the top junior golfers in Southern California here in San Diego, practicing out of our golf course. And I think back to IK Kim. Comes out and practices quite a bit. She's won several tournaments on the LPGA Tour. And I actually want to start with a quote by Jack Nicklaus that will tie into what I've observed in all these high-level players and how they practice and play. And Jack Nicklaus has always said, I never hit a shot in practice that I didn't intend to hit in a championship tournament. So how are you practicing your craft? Is it you want to play as if it's game day every day? And I love that analogy because if you think about golf, Dick Coop wrote the book, It's Not a Game of Perfect, right? It's not about a perfect golf swing. It's what you do consistently. And that's what I love about IK when she comes out to practice. She's diligent. She spends hours out there and she's very methodical in how she practices every part of her game. And that's why she's been successful. And she's had her low points as well, right? We all do. And I remember her just missing I want to call it the Nabisco, but it's actually the ANA tournament down in the desert to a 2-foot putt. But then she bounced back and she's won several tournaments since. It's just amazing when you stick to your plan and you work your plan and you work your weaknesses as well as your strengths, but really build on those strengths so that the weaknesses just flow. It all comes together. And it takes me to another Jack Nicklaus quote that I absolutely love. And he says, as long as I'm prepared, I can expect to win. Now, how does that work for each of you in your businesses, in your sport, no matter what sport you enjoy? As long as I'm prepared, I can expect to win. You know, Howard, you even mentioned sailing. If you've got this boat prepared and you've got the sails prepared and everything's set, the winds might blow, the winds might not blow. But if you're prepared and ready, you can prepare to win.
You know, I remember being out on the water. When I got started, I was racing. It's a wonderful way to learn how to sail as you get involved with racing.
Sure.
And just practicing tacks and jibes and
right.
And setting the spinnaker. We're not going to go the spinnaker. I've got too many horror stories. And you don't want me on race committee either. You really want me as rail meat. But it'd be just this idea of practice and consistent, continuous practice. And I think the metaphor in the business professional world that comes to mind immediately is the military.
Yeah.
Because everything they do, I mean, yeah, they have these war games, they have their exercises, but there's a reason for every activity they take. And each one of those actions and activities has a place in a bigger selection of activities and actions. And much like golf too. I mean, I would imagine you talked in early on that you start the lessons within 60, 100 yards of the green. What are some of the actions that you would take with a kind of a new golfer? If you're going to work with me, who's probably consistently not so good golfer, what are some of the actions you're going to take to help me help another aspiring golfer really learn to get comfortable with purposeful practice?
So we all love to bust drives. We all love to crush the ball. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. There's nothing more exhilarating than crushing a drive. But we got to keep in mind our percentages, right? 14% of your score is driving. 68% of your score is 100 yards and in. So how do you need to break down your practice, right? And at your level, 40% of that is going to be, of that 68 is going to be putting. Where do you need to be placing your focus and your practice? And then within that, let's create games and make it fun, because this is a game we play, right? That's my job. But, why do we play? Because we want to have fun. We want to, quote unquote, play. So that goes into the effortless power that we've covered. It goes into momentum. It goes into flow, planning the plan and working the plan, and purposeful practice. So if you're in the house, I've been running a Facebook series where I'm challenging everybody every day. Are you making 5 3-foot putts in a row? If you do that, by the time we get to go back on the golf course, everybody will lower their putting percentage, and they're actually going to lower their score. Think about it. 40% to 30% is the difference between your higher handicapper and your better golfer. Your average tour player is going to make anywhere from 25 to 28% of their putts. That alone can be anywhere from 4 to 8 putts around. So just by practicing that one thing alone, and we're just chipping away at it, no pun intended, right? And then we go back to chipping and focus on it. Focus on a target and give yourself a reasonable target and make it a game within the game. So what I often tell everybody is take 6 balls and have a reasonable specific target. So if you're in a higher handicap, 28 and above, or maybe 30 and above, you just want to get it on the putting surface, right? Then in your 20s, you might want to get the ball on one half of the green or the other half of the green. Then as you lower into the teens, we're quartering it off. And then as you lower your handicap even more, now we're shrinking the size of that target. How many out of 6 can you get inside that target? And make it enjoyable and fun and really work it. And then it comes into building strong fundamentals. Well, that's just as important in purposeful practice. What are the pros doing? The pros are always coming back to the fundamentals. GPA plus B, grip, posture, alignment, and balance. So right now we're at a time where all of us need balance in our lives. We're also at an opportunity where we can create a little more fun. And it is a choice, because we can make this be a crazy time, or we can take advantage of the fact we've got more time. And how can we have some more fun in our lives? How can I spend more time with my spouse, with my kids, with my loved ones that I care so much? And how do I portion out my day and still thrive at anticipating my business success and fill out all of these forms and applications for grants and loans and everything else? So again, we're planning. This is all planning and purposefully planning, and planning out your time and chunking it out. Where do we need our percentages? All critically important to anything and everything we do. And I find golfers just go out there and slap at it. A routine on the golf course should be the same routine for the driving range. But yet I get people with a pile of balls in front of them and they're raking and hitting and raking and hitting and raking and hitting. Well, that's not the routine for the golf course. And then you get faster and faster and faster and faster. Right? And where's your breathing going? It's up in your throat. All of a sudden, You got to get back down and lowering everything back in your chest and back to the purpose and the focus of GPA plus B, working those fundamentals so that you can gain power, so you can gain consistency, critical to success in anything we do.
Most definitely. And even, back into the business world, I mean, everything that you and I have been alluding to these last couple episodes, or really since we began, I mean, we are in a very unique time. I don't mean unique in a positive way, but we're under different kinds of stress. But the organizations, I think, that have planned and practiced and evaluated and adjusted, those are the ones that are going to come out of this time that we're in better for it. And again, I think this metaphor of golf, I mean, it's practice and it's understanding the fundamentals. You start at the green, and some of us have started at the driving range and not even loosened up before we started hitting the ball, which is probably not good. That's
the other piece I want to make sure we cover is how are you taking care of your body tempo?
Yeah.
Your body tempo right now. A lot of us are sitting. I have spent more time sitting than I have spent in my entire career. I need to make sure I'm still working out, staying in shape so that I can be the example for everybody else in what I do on a day-to-day basis.
I'm guilty of that too.
That's a new discipline, right? Yeah. Where our whole routine has been turned upside down. So how do we work the plan and really purposefully practice for success? And these are all really important pieces. So going back to fundamentals, how do you make that fun, right? How do you chunk it out so that you're setting yourself up to succeed?
Fantastic.
Very, very
fantastic. Andree, this has been another wonderful episode with you. And for our listeners, I hope you enjoyed Andree's take on purposeful practice for this edition of Mindset Mondays. Andree, thank you again. And for our listeners, if they want to get to know you, where are the best places for them to go?
My website is andreegolf.com, and that's Andree with 2 E's. I can also be found on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube, all the social media outlets. Love to hear from you. Love to be able to help in any way I can. Everybody hang in there and really purposefully set up your plan and work your plan, no matter what you're doing. And just keep yourselves up, keep yourselves positive, eye on the target, and nail the target.
Fantastic. Thank you again.
My pleasure.
All right, folks, we have just been chatting with Andree Martin, your leadership mindset and golf performance coach. And today's episode on Mindset Monday was Purposeful Practice. Lots of great nuggets once again from Andree. She is the queen of the golden nugget, I have to tell you. That's my new nickname for her. And listen, let us know what you think about these episodes of Mindset Monday. If there's some questions you have, or maybe there's some ideas you have, shoot them over to us on all of our channels, successinsightpodcast.com, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, our podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. There's lots of opportunities to comment on individual episodes as well, and even on YouTube. But overall, we hope you are enjoying these episodes and you're getting some pearls of wisdom, getting some gold out of them. And again, we would love to hear your feedback. So folks, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, go out there, have a very safe, healthy day. Take care of yourselves, take care of your family, your loved ones, practice social distancing. At some point, even in the day, make sure it's a phenomenal one. Let's find the gold out of the rough that we're in right now. Until our next episode, go out there and again, take care of yourself, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Success Insight Podcast. Take care now.
Success Insight is a production of Fox Coaching and First Story Strategies. Find us online, successinsightpodcast.com.